Why not finish the phrase? It was very pretty.
What?
Pretty, but sad. But I guess that's how any musician has to learn about the blues.
Who are you?
A music lover and a music maker.
How long have you been standing there?
Long enough to know that your music says you're sad. I guess that's why you stopped playing. Maybe it hurts too much.
This is Search for Tomorrow.
Now, don't rack back and forth too quickly, please, because I don't want Mr. Kendall looming and zooming around in the frame. Now, everybody, try to keep your dirty jokes to a minimum. He's nervous enough as it is.
Now, Steve, we're going to be using more than one camera, so you'll just have to follow along in your script to see when we switch from one to the other, okay?
No problem.
Or if you prefer, I can give you an earphone so you can hear the cues being called from the booth. How about that?
Well, I think I'd rather be on my own. There's nothing more distracting than having some nervous stage manager or director shouting cues in your ear.
Oh, you sound like you've done this sort of thing before.
Well, once or twice. I've done a few local shows as a guest shot.
Oh, I see. Well, I guess you're all set then. Wait a minute. There is just one more thing. We're going to be using a through-the-lens prompter. Do you think you'll need a script?
I think I'd like one, yeah. If I can look down every once in a while, I don't look quite so glib, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Break a leg, Steve.
Thank you. Oh, and thanks again, okay?
Oh, sure.
Well, all right, I guess we're about ready to start. Mr. Kendall doesn't have a script. Where's the copy?
Don't worry, Rhonda Sue's typing it up. The way she types, it'll take her all of 4 seconds.
Here it is, hot off the key.
For heaven's sakes, honey, give me the script. There you are, Mr. Kendall.
Steve will be fine.
All right, Steve, take a look at it and let us know when you're comfortable.
Well, thanks. I've been through it on the prompters a few times. I'm just about ready.
Why bother making him have to audition? Once he starts smiling, no one would touch that dial for all the oil in Texas.
Thanks for the regional vote. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, dear, let's clear the set and stand by. Okay?
Clear the set, stand by!
Just relax and have some fun, will you?
Okay, and thanks so much, Mrs. Wyatt.
Stephanie, please. Okay, rotate.
Rotate.
86, that cup, will you, please?
Hold it. I'm sorry to interrupt. I had to come out of the control booth.
Is there a problem?
Well, it's Steve's shirt.
What about his shirt?
Stephanie, it's striped. The lines will go all wavy. They'll bloom on the videotape.
I beg your pardon.
Darling, lines like that, as I said, go wavy. They jar the eye. And besides that, Steve has a squarish jaw. These short collar points don't flatter him at all.
We are not doing this as broadcast quality. This is an internal tape. I just need to see his professional range.
Stephanie, you must understand my obligation to my client. Now, since Steve's professional range is a little limited right now, we need to maximize his assets, don't we? Yes, and if you hadn't skipped breakfast this morning, I could have told you to change your shirt then.
I'm sorry, I lost track of time. I was jogging.
Yes, well, at any rate. Do you think a wardrobe could come up with a nice blue button-down shirt, one with long collar points? We would so appreciate it.
I'd appreciate it too, Mrs. Wyatt. Helena's judgment hasn't been wrong yet.
Well, I don't know if we can come up with that or not.
Excuse me, folks. May I please say something here? Stephanie, look, the camera crew is on loan from the news department. We've got to start setting up soon for the noon broadcast. Could we please hustle?
A very good point. Would you please clear the set?
Clear the set, please!
Stephanie, you see, I really can't let Steve audition unless he's dressed properly.
I think he looks just fine.
Well, I don't.
Well, I'm the buyer, and I do.
Stephanie, could I see you in private, please?
Certainly.
For a moment.
You excuse us? Don't you think you're being just a little obstinate?
You see, it depends upon your point of view. Now, and I hate to remind you of this, we have other offers, you know?
Well, I am so flattered that you elected to audition here today in my studio.
Stephanie, don't you think you owe him a chance to put his best foot forward?
Yes, I do. And don't you think you owe him a respite from all this nitpicking?
Nitpicking?
I am really sorry. Little clashes like that don't help much when you're trying to audition.
Oh, I don't mind. Name me a TV station where the personalities don't rub each other the wrong way.
I can't. Mario, come here for a second, will you? Look, this is a disaster. Will you tell the guys to take a 5?
Take 5!
It won't get out, and I'm not having any more.
Well, I'm not
She's not
taking
having
the
it.
chance. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. You're Michael Kendall.
That's right. How'd you know?
Oh, I've seen you on television, and I read in the paper you're going to be here this summer.
Well, part of it anyway. And you're?
Liza Santel.
Nice to meet you.
Hello. Oh, I admire your music.
Thank you.
I don't know how you do it. You manage to sell everything, and it never sounds slick. It's wonderful.
Well, coming from someone like you with a lot of talent, that's a real compliment. But enough of these platitudes. I mean, you know a lot about me, and I don't know anything about you. Do you work here?
Oh, no. My grandfather, Stu Bergman, runs the place, and I was just here to meet him.
Uh-huh.
What are you doing here so early?
Well, I just had a music lesson with a student that's a busboy here. And I borrowed a lift from him and figured because I was hungry, I'd come, and I don't drive real well, you know what I mean? They do serve brunch here, don't they?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm afraid not.
There goes the crepes Florentine.
Oh, wait a minute. You know, since I'm related to management, I mean, we're real tight. I could probably raid the refrigerator.
Yeah. But no. No, I would never take advantage of your bloodlines. You know what they say anyway. Music is food for the soul, isn't it?
Oh, I guess.
I don't believe that 1 minute. What I guess I really feel is that I'd love to hear you play some more, Liza.
Oh, well, I have to tell you, I think I'd feel a little intimidated.
Why? What I heard was wonderful. Was it an original composition?
Yeah, that one was, yeah.
No lyrics?
There are lyrics. I've been thinking of redoing them, though.
Can I hear the old ones?
You know, I'd really rather not. It's a work in progress. Do you understand?
Sure. How about something else?
Well, oh, dear. All right.
Okay.
Right this way.
Thank you, ma'am. This is the famous listen to the pianist while you lean on the instrument.
Okay, you're up for this, huh?
Heart's not in it, huh?
How'd you know that?
Oh, I've got a special ear for music and for feelings. I guess it's sort of a radar. It compensates for being blind.
Well, you see me pretty clearly, don't you?
Well, voices tell me a lot. As an example, your voice says that you're tall and slender, and frankly, Liza, I think you're very pretty.
Can you also tell I'm blushing?
Play some more, will you, Liza?
All right. Don't tell me things I've never heard before. When I searched...
Okay, let's run the taste, honey.
Miss White, Mr. Kendall says go ahead without him because he gets too nervous watching his own self. I'd be happy to watch it and tell him how he does.
Thank you, Rhonda, Sue, but that won't be necessary. Okay, sonny.
Audition tape. Steve Kendall. Take 1. 5, 4, 2.
This is a story about dedication. An old-fashioned beat-the-odds fairy tale about how hard work and a little faith can accomplish miracles. The story starts with a young left-handed ball player from the plains of Kansas. A young man whose brilliant career nearly came to an end just...
Well, Stephanie,
time for the nitty-gritty. The guy is dynamite. You do see that, don't you? I see some glimmers of talent in a very attractive young man, but I also see that he needs a lot of hard work.
Well, I think the rough edges just add to his charm. No, I would say the best way for Steve to mature is to simply get a lot of airtime.
I assume that's why you're here.
Mrs. Wyatt, Steve has had 3 other firm offers and 2 preliminary inquiries. Shall you and I talk business?
All right. I'm prepared to offer him 2 firm years with a 6-month option. And 15% over after scale with benefits and raises negotiated in good faith later. I'll have the lawyers draw up the papers.
So wait a minute. You'd want Steve for 2 years.
Of course.
I hadn't even thought of tying him up that long.
Well, what did you have in mind? Why did you bring him all this way here?
Well, months. After all, this is a rather small market.
But large enough to give him the experience and the tape exposure he needs to move on to something better.
Stephanie, I never said any such thing. Look, I have a luncheon appointment with Steve. Why don't I go home, sleep on it, and call you tomorrow? We could talk more then.
Are you staying on in town?
Yes, we are for the moment. Listen, could I borrow a telephone in an empty office? I have a dozen calls to return before Steve and I can leave.
Certainly.
Good.
Excuse me, was I that bad? You two have been talking in here a long time.
Steve, you and I have to talk.
Yes, and she has a lot of telephone calls to make before you have luncheon with her. Why don't you sit down here and make yourself comfortable?
Oh, okay. Mrs. Wyatt, whatever decision you're making here, I want you to know I appreciate everything you're doing for me.
Well, you're welcome, dear. And why don't you call me Stephanie? As I've told your agent, you have the job.
That's great.
Now, Stephanie, just one
No, give the man a chance to enjoy his triumph at least. Now, listen, Rhonda Sue has an office out there that you can make your telephone calls in.
Yes, Stephanie, don't forget, you and I have a lot more to talk about.
Of course we do, but it can wait. It can wait. Close the door as you leave, will you, please? Lie to me this time. Lie to me just this time.
Yes. Bravo, Liza. Well, the verdict's in on Miss Liza Santel. You're terrific.
Thank you. By the way, it's, Mrs.
Oh.
Now it's your turn.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Looks like you have an audience growing
Oh,
here,
well,
so don't let them down, okay?
I'll try not to. Listen, is Ginny Deacon here?
Jenny Deacon, no, just Joe and some of the staff.
Well, this is for Joe and the staff. But honestly, it's for you. When I wrote this, I felt like I think you feel. Let me begin to love you. Let me begin to try. Love doesn't need a reason. Love's the reason why. Let me begin to hold you the whole night through. Let me begin to love you, lady, and you might love me too.
Oh, right, nice one.
Hey, Jane Pauley will never work again.
Dane, what are you doing here?
I came by to say hi to Henderson's prettiest newscaster.
Hi.
Hi.
But you still haven't answered my question.
What am I doing here? Well, I heard the station needs a new weatherman. I came by to apply for the job. Dr. Dane, the weather vane, except I have a new and unique approach. All my forecasts are guaranteed to be 100% incorrect.
Honey, do you mind? Look, I am going to be on the air in approximately 6, count 'em, minutes.
I'll take 6 minutes. I'll take whatever time you have these days. Say, who was that guy with Rendezvous Hush Puppy? He looked familiar.
Oh, Steve Kendall? Oh, he used to play baseball for the San Francisco Chargers. That is, until he got injured.
Yeah, right. Bad arm, I think.
I'm going to break both of your arms if you don't scram.
Okay, look, just I want to take you to lunch today, all right? You and I got some work to do.
Thanks, Joey.
Excuse me.
What kind of work?
We got to figure out how to help Travis and Liza, see?
What could we possibly do to help Travis and Liza?
That's what we got to figure out. We got to figure out an angle on how to get them back together. We're their best friends.
Dane, look, I'm sure that your motives are good. But I think we ought to stay out of this.
Look, at least I'm making an effort here, you know?
Dane, did it ever occur to you that maybe Liza would like to be left alone right now?
Oh, why would Liza want to be alone? She and Travis love each other more than any two people I've ever seen. Except you and me, of course.
Look, I guarantee you that if we interfere in any way, we're only going to make things worse.
Okay, well, so much for loyalty.
Dane, it's not a matter of loyalty. It's common sense. Something you could use more of.
Hey, thanks a lot. Well, don't bite my head off, you know? Just drop the whole thing. Forget about it.
Gladly.
You know, if we keep this up, we're going to be the ones to become unglued. Scratch everything I said.
Fine with me.
Except lunch, okay? I'll be back to pick you up the minute those lights dim on that gorgeous, chic, new body.
Would you please get out of here?
I'm history.
Good. Goodbye. Men!
I mean, one thing, how do you get to be so confident? When you're singing, I mean.
Well, I think it's repetition. I've performed so much, it's just become a habit. Don't you feel confident?
Well, I've been through some pretty rough blows in this business lately. Actually, my husband, he used to give me some constructive criticism.
Used to. He doesn't do it anymore?
We're separated.
Well, that explains a lot. But if you decide to spread your wings, musically that is, why don't you come to school and sing for my students?
Music students? Are you kidding? I would be petrified.
No. They're wonderful. You know, they're tough critics, but they give you a fair chance, and it's good for your work. You know the old saying, you teach what you want to learn.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm afraid I would learn that I'm a big chicken.
Oh, no. Don't let being afraid stop you. You know, I'd never have asked you if I was just going to let some graduate students pick on you. They'll learn, you'll learn.
Are you doing this because you feel sorry for me?
I've never felt sorry for anyone, Liza. It's not in my repertoire. Now, what do you think?
I think, yes, I think.
All right. Well, listen, can you find the waitress so I can pay my bill?
I overheard that. In no way are you going to have a check, sir. You treat us to your music, we treat you to lunch, and thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, let's go
You all
then. Joe, would you tell Granddad that I'm going to go to class with Michael and audit a music class?
Wonderful.
Come back very soon, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You want to take my arm, sir?
Sure. A lot prettier than the seeing eye dog, you know what I mean?
He sure is. Here we come.
Forward, Liza.
Nice to hear her laugh for a change.
I'd say the only thing you have to really watch is that smile of yours. Makes you look so friendly. I'm afraid people are going to be watching you and not listening to what you have to say.
Oh, good point. Thank you for the advice.
Well, you're very easy to work with.
Then you do feel there is a future for me here at Channel 6?
Oh, of course. Of course, it's going to take a little work.
Well, that's fine with me. I don't mind hard work one bit. The only trouble is TV's a little tricky. In baseball, I could always take extra batting practice or run laps or something. But this broadcasting, well, it's hard to put your finger on ways to improve fundamentals.
Well, I'd say your fundamentals are just fine. All you have to do is stop, look, and listen. Learn from them.
Well, I know I have a lot to learn, but I just want to say, if I do come aboard here on Channel 6, I'll tell you what, I'll give it everything I've got.
You're a very dedicated man. And a very sweet one, too. One lump or two?
having a roommate.
You think I like coming home to a woman who doesn't know how to be a wife?
Maybe that's because you don't know how to be a husband.